Florida woman was arrested for pretending to be an ICE agent and kidnapping her ex's wife. A Florida man claims to be Jesus was shot dead after attacking his parents. A Florida man went to prison for impersonating a cop once again, and a Florida man was caught with a bulky wallet full of cocaine at the Magic Kingdom. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They're all from Florida because on Friday I only do weird news from Florida. It's Florida Friday on Weird AF News. Weird news from Florida. You like Florida, man? You like weird news? Here we go! A Florida woman was arrested after posing as an ICE agent in order to kidnap her ex-partner's wife. Florida woman telling Florida man, "Hold my 40. I'm about to take Florida to a whole new level." Stories out of Panama City. A woman in Panama City was caught and cuffed after being accused of pretending to be a federal agent to briefly kidnap her ex-boyfriend's wife. So it's her ex-boyfriend's wife. I wonder why they broke up. Anyone have any ideas why that relationship didn't work out? I have a couple. 52-year-old LaTrance Battle went to the woman's workplace at a hotel chain wearing a black shirt with the word ICE printed on the front. Yeah, nice to know we live in a world where you could just print the word ICE on the front of your shirt and just go grab people. And I mean, no one really knows what ICE looks like, so you're going to have copycats out there. It doesn't seem to be like a real uniform. I mean, I've seen them in sweatpants. I've seen them in a suit. You don't know what you're dealing with. If someone comes up to you and says, "I'm ICE," flashes a badge, and they have ICE written on their baseball cap, you just might believe them. And that opens the door for shenanigans like this, sadly. The victim, who was in the process of becoming a legal U.S. resident, willingly went with LaTrance Battle, the 52-year-old lady, whom she believed was actually a member of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. It says here, she sensed something was amiss. Ooh, I wonder what the clues were that something was amiss. Did she just notice that the ICE lady was missing some teeth and happened to hit a meth pipe a couple of times on the way to... Did she notice something was amiss when the woman put her in the back of a 2004 Saturn? Was that the clue? No, it says she sensed something was amiss after being taken to an apartment complex. Hey, where are you taking me? This looks like an apartment. No, this is headquarters. Really? All right. Whose kids are these? Those are other detainees. I know they're in pajamas, but that's what they were wearing when we detained them. The article ends by saying, Battle, the Florida woman, was arrested and is charged with the following: kidnapping, impersonating a law enforcement officer, felony violation of probation, and robbery by sudden snatching. Never heard of that one before. I've heard of robbery, not robbery by sudden snatching? Strange charge. I mean, most of the time, robbery involves sudden snatching. Is there an alternate charge in the same category called robbery by slowly coercing? Robbery by sudden snatching. Have you ever heard of this? I've never heard of this charge before. Your Honor, my client and I would like to give a little pushback on robbery by sudden snatching. If you will watch the video that we have from the security camera, you'll see that my client did not suddenly snatch. My client slowly grabbed the victim. We do not deny that it was a kidnapping, but it wasn't exactly sudden, and she never snatched the target. Well, in the end, it was only a matter of time before we got one of these headlines of people impersonating ICE, because it seems so easy to do. I think you could buy an ICE costume at the Halloween Superstore, can you not? And, while a lot of people are worrying about illegal immigrants, I think you should be more concerned about Florida citizens and the mentally ill. But they're kind of one and the same. A Florida man claiming to be Jesus was shot dead after attacking his parents. Identity theft is a very serious issue, guys. You need to protect your identity at all costs. In this instance, Jesus didn't have very strong passwords, so this Florida man stole his identification. And sounds like this is the third time that the government murdered Jesus, but let's get the details. This is a disturbing scene that was unfolded in Bartow, Florida. A Florida man claimed he was not only Jesus, but claimed he was God as well. Claimed he was both Jesus and God, which is weird. He was fatally shot, sadly, by law enforcement following a domestic violence incident and a tense confrontation at a local store. I wonder what store, guys. What do you think? Walmart or Bass Pro Shop? Where would Jesus shop? The Florida man here has been identified as 34-year-old Wayne Voltz. He was sadly killed after authorities responded to reports of a volatile domestic dispute earlier that morning in Fort Meade, which is a small town about 45 miles east of Tampa. Police Chief Steve and Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. I think he's made the show before, hasn't he? Yeah, because I remember that name, Grady Judd, because I said to myself, you know what? And I think I said it on the show. Amazing county sheriff name, Grady Judd. It's like right out of a movie. It's like right out of No Country for Old Men. You ever seen that movie? Fabulous movie. The freaking Coen brothers, man. They rule. So we got Police Chief and County Sheriff Grady Judd. You know what Grady Judd does, right? He's got a big mouthful of skull. Oh, that's so Grady Judd. Big old skull. They said that this Florida man and his parents had a violent disagreement, and the Florida man Voltz is accused of engaging in, quote, pistol whipping his mother with a gun. Imagine pistol whipping your mother? What kind of demon? This is not what Jesus would have done. Jesus was very forgiving. He also assaulted his father, this Florida man, when he attempted to step in during the event. Witnesses say that the Florida man Voltz even shouted this threat, "Do you want to die today?" at his father, and threatened both parents while ranting about being divine. He reportedly declared himself Jesus and God, and he called his mother the devil, and confiscated their phones, holding them hostage in their own home for several hours. Wow, in case you were wondering if you can take too much meth, here's the evidence. As the situation escalated, it says, the Florida man Voltz's father convinced him to leave the house under the pretense of going to work at a Lowe's store in Bartow. Shockingly, Voltz allegedly said he planned to go to Bartow and kill a lot of people. There's a lot going on here. He convinced his son to go to work. Now, son, I know you want to kill us both right now, and you think we're demons, but you got work in 45 minutes. Did you not know that? And then for some reason he was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Although if you really believe you're God, I mean, why would you clock in at that point?" So, but the Florida man shockingly went to Lowe's. Upon arrival at the store, the father quickly informed coworkers of the threat. Oh, the father went with him. The father drove him to Lowe's. The father told the coworkers what was going on, and the employees at Lowe's, check them out, they acted fast. They hid the father, contacted 911. It was a rapid police response at the Lowe's when the officers and the deputies arrived at the scene. They had little knowledge of Voltz's exact location. Sheriff Grady Judd later noted that the officers were, quote, running around blind. Authorities had to use a drone to assist in locating this Florida man, eventually spotting him outside the store. Despite commands to stop, he fled. Well, yeah, I mean, do you think you could just tell God to stop? God's not going to stop. In the ensuing chase, the Florida man reportedly opened fire. Now he's got he had the gun earlier because he pistol whipped his demon mother, recall? So close to Mother's Day, too. How unacceptable. He opened fire on the sheriff's vehicle, discharging 7 to 8 rounds, one of which struck Deputy Edwin Alexander. Poor deputy. Law enforcement naturally returned fire, and Voltz sustained critical injuries and was transported to a nearby hospital where he later passed away. There were 2 officers injured, shot during this altercation. Sheriff Grady Judd confirmed that Voltz, the Florida man, was known to authorities as a drug addict and had a history of erratic behavior. They are currently conducting an autopsy on the Florida man, and they're gathering information on the case, seeking to piece together the events that may have led to this violent and tragic outcome. Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, it's meth, clearly. Maybe combined with church. You combine a dangerous situation, combining meth and church. You get these guys that get the God complex. They get they want a Jesus cosplay. Now, it doesn't say what they've done with the body of the Florida man, but you're going to need to keep an eye on that morgue, I think, for the next 3 or 4 days, just in case. I mean, he really was Jesus. Just might want to keep an eye on that.
Tax day's always a pain. Next year could be a nightmare. If Congress fails to extend Trump's tax cuts, middle-class families will get hit with a huge tax increase. That means less money for groceries, less money to pay your mortgage, less money for school supplies, and less money for family vacations. A $1,500 tax increase? That's enough to give families the cold sweats. Avoid the nightmare. Save Trump's tax cuts. Learn more at protectprosperity.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
A Florida man that can't stop impersonating a police officer was arrested for impersonating a police officer again. An Orange County, Florida man was arrested on Monday, accused of impersonating a police officer and trying to pull another vehicle over. Court records show that he was sentenced to prison for doing this same thing 2 years ago. Well, they say do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Florida man Albert Dolan, age 60, followed a vehicle along Stony Brook Parkway near State Road 535. You know the place. Followed the vehicle for about a mile with amber lights flashing. Now, you're probably wondering, how is it possible that he has a vehicle that could pull over a driver? He has a vehicle with lights on it. Well, in case you didn't know, the police make it very easy to impersonate a police officer, especially on the roadways, because you know what they do, these geniuses? They sell their used police cars to the public. Pretty strange activity, wouldn't you say? I would agree. Now, you're probably some of you might be in another country right now wondering, is that really true that police departments all over the United States, when they're done their police cars, they sell them to the public? Yes, that would be true. You're probably shocked to hear about such a stupid thing that goes on here. Something that you usually only hear from like third world countries. Like if I was in Argentina and someone approached me like, hey man, you want to buy a police car? I'll get you a tank, man. You want a tank? I'd be like, yeah, naturally. Wouldn't expect it in the States, but that's what's going on. And then they wonder, why are all these people impersonating police officers? Why are they pulling people over on the roads? And then the police will arrest somebody for doing it like they often do. And then they'll have a press conference and they'll say, it's a shame that people out there are misrepresenting themselves as police officers, and we want to do everything in our power to make sure that doesn't happen going forward. Hey, I got an idea. If you want to make it not happen going forward, police departments all over the U.S., stop selling your cars to citizens, you stupid morons. What do you need? What do you need that $5,000? Really? I've seen your budgets, quite big. All right, you don't have to sell used equipment and have a yard sale at the police department. It's so dumb. And some people say, oh, well, most people that buy a police car don't do this. Yeah, but a certain percentage of them do stuff like this because you kind of have to be that way to want one of these cars. You have to be on some sort of power trip to look at that vehicle and be like, I want that car. I want to be like them. It's a form of like on the road bullying. And sadly, there are a lot of like men with small penises out there that wear wraparound sunglasses that this is exactly the fix they need. They were chosen last for basketball and they've never gotten any respect in their lives, and now here they are as adults trying to get it back. You could just see this coming a mile away. I'm not even a psychology major, but it all makes sense to me why you get this situation. Okay, that was a very long rant. But I think it's deserving. The driver thought the car was an actual police vehicle, so pulled over. According to deputies, Dolan approached the victim on the driver's side of the vehicle and asked for his license and registration. When the driver asked why, he said Dolan, the Florida man, told him that he was speeding. According to the sheriff's officials, the victim said Dolan refused to show his ID or badge and then let him go. The driver promptly called 911 and provided Dolan's license plate number. This guy's so stupid. He's not as dumb as the Florida man that pulled over an off-duty police officer in his little fake police car, but he's pretty stupid nonetheless. Now, it says when the deputies arrested the Florida man, he claims he did not impersonate a deputy. The sheriff's office said Dolan has a history of buying former police vehicles with lights and sirens still attached, and that he had been accused of impersonating a police officer before. Oh, great. So you know that this is what this man does, and yet you continue to sell him these vehicles. Yeah, he kind of has a history of buying former police vehicles. We didn't think nothing of it. He asked if we could leave the lights and sirens on. We didn't think nothing of it. I mean, anyone who buys a former police vehicle in this country, any bro, should be immediately put on a list. So we all know who these people are. We can look out for them. Yeah, like the pedophile list. You have to, and the police office should keep an eye on this person, do check-ins on the people that, and you know what the better idea is? Hey, don't sell these cars to the public. Again, don't understand it. This guy here, he's got quite a record. In September 2017, he was arrested for posing as a police officer. January 2018, what is that? That's 4 months later. He was arrested again for impersonating law enforcement. He was eventually sentenced to 5 years in prison, but when he got out, for some reason, they're like, oh, you want to sell him another police car? Oh, what could possibly go wrong? You got me. Has anyone done some ground-penetrating radar in this Florida man's backyard? I think you might find some fascinating shapes in there. A Florida man was caught with a bulky wallet full of cocaine at the Magic Kingdom. Sounds like he brought the magic with him that day. And to be fair, cocaine, I believe, is legal tender among most Florida men, so you can't blame the fella. He was probably trying to pay to get into Disney using cocaine. A man has been banned from Walt Disney World after he was caught sneaking a wallet full of cocaine into Magic Kingdom Park. A bulky wallet full of cocaine. Just want to make sure that you know it's bulky. It's a lot of cocaine. We have here Florida man Dustin Lee Wallace, age 44, of St. Augustine, arrested and charged with possession of cocaine. A bulky amount, in case you're wondering. That's enough cocaine for the entire cast and crew of Disney. Disney security officer Brian Colin, the hero of the story, described the situation in an arrest report. He witnessed Florida man Wallace and his son walk up to the security checkpoint near the Magic Kingdom bus loop. As per usual, security policies at Magic Kingdom. They went to wand the pair. Okay, this is written very sloppily. So basically, they wand you with a metal detector and check your bags. Yeah. Colin asked Wallace to remove his wallet from his back pocket, to which Wallace complied. The security person, Brian, observed that his wallet was very bulky, and he began to get nervous. Brian explained that he must check the wallet, and the defendant opened it, and he observed a big bag of powdery white substance. Just shoved it in his wallet. Bro, you know, this is not how you get cocaine into the Magic Kingdom, man. You got to put it in the old prison pocket. You know what I'm saying? Get that right in the keister. Your keister Coke. You got to keister that Coke, baby. But then, share your keister Coke once you get inside. Now, the Orange County Sheriff's Office used a field test on the white powder and found the results were presumptive positive, indicating the presence of cocaine. The magic dust. Wallace later admitted to trying to bring the drugs inside the Magic Kingdom, claiming the cocaine was for stress relief. It's for stress relief. Hey, I understand, man. I've been to Disney. Too many kids in there. I get stressed as well. I've never snuck cocaine into Disney, but I did bring a cannabis vape into Disneyland. And I'll confess, when I ripped it in the bathroom away from my family, I set off the alarm, the smoke alarm. I didn't think you could set off a smoke alarm with a vape pen, but apparently, oh man, that thing went off loud, and I just promptly walked out. And then the rest of the day, I made sure I did it outside behind the various rides and whatnot. But yeah, that was. Hey, it's a stressful place, man. You need your medicine when you go to Disney. At least I did, and obviously this Florida man does too. And why shouldn't we be able to bring our personal medicine into the Magic Kingdom? If you can't have your bulky wallet full of blow, I mean, is it really magic? If you can't do a few lines off of Snow White's forehead in the Florida sunshine, is it even magical? Can you call yourself the happiest place on earth? I doubt it. Okay, so Wallace, the Florida man, said the cocaine was for stress relief. He said he had been using cocaine for approximately 1 month because of stress from work. Was it prescribed? It's called self-medicating. I understand. Work is stressful. Doesn't say where he works, though. It's probably, well, I mean, you could work at any fast food place in the state of Florida, and I would say, you know what? You do whatever you have to do to get through the day, my friend. Now, the article says this incident is at least the second time in the past several months an individual has been arrested for trying to bring drugs into the Magic Kingdom. And, you know, summer hasn't even begun yet, so I'll tell you right now, you can bet on this will not be the last Floridaman attempt at bringing magic dust into the Magic Kingdom.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hello, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thanks for spending some time with me in this Florida Friday episode. Thank you to my supporters, my lovely listeners that sent me Florida stories the last couple of days. Very helpful. Thank you so much for participating. You can always drop me a link to a story. It doesn't even have to be Florida related, just could be weird in general. My email is funnyjones@gmail.com, and I'm on Instagram @funnyjones as well. I want to give a big shout out to Becca from Texas. Becca sent me a very weird, cool gift. She sent me a box containing 2 kazoos. Isn't that odd? Yes, I've never owned a kazoo before, but now I am the proud owner of 2 kazoos. And they came in a very fancy box. They have their own bag. A really nice kazoo kit, from what I can see. Now, I'm not really familiar with kazoos, but been having fun screwing around with these kazoos. I thought I might play you one of them. One of them is wood, and one of them is some kind of aluminum. Here's the wood one. Here, this is the sound I've been loving here. Just thought I would do a theme song to an old show. Pretty fun. I'm getting into it. I'm going to watch some kazoo tutorial videos. This all came about because I covered a story about they were trying to break the world record of, was it the world record of kazoo gathering, or it was a kazoo contest? Some kind of big event involving kazoos. I can't remember. And so I might have mentioned that I'm not familiar with this instrument. I play guitar kind of proficiently, but never, But I tell you, the kazoo, pretty easy to play. Yeah, I think anybody could. You give this to a baby. A baby could play. I bet you could give it to a squirrel, and a squirrel could play the damn thing. It's super easy. Anyways, a lot of fun. I'll be spending my birthday weekend playing the kazoo and annoying the shit out of my friends. So that'll be fun. Yes, it's my birthday weekend. My birthday's Sunday, April 27th. If you'd like to get me a birthday gift like the lovely Becca, you can email me and I'll give you my address, or you can go to my website, weirdafnews.com, where you can buy me a coffee or join the Patreon. That's the thing. weirdafnews.com. What are your plans for your birthday, Jonesy? I believe I mentioned it on the last episode, but I'm playing softball, and then I'm going to go out with my softball team to the brewery, and then I'm going to go sing karaoke, because I love to karaoke on my birthday. That's my favorite thing to do. Usually get a private room so that I could sing as much as I want. Not alone, although I have done that in the past. But I like to be able to sing unlimited amounts of songs. So I love to sing until I lose my voice. That's kind of sing and drink until I lose my voice is a lot of fun, I say. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely weekend as well. If you want to wish me a happy birthday, you know how to do it. But you can call the show as well, 646-450-2012. I love you. Good luck with your life, man.